Hey guys, a few patches ago, RAGEBLADE was updated, and we're seeing that more and more champions can actually use it properly, ones that wouldn't really have touched it before. So I've spent my day today, instead of being outside in the lovely sunshine, to have a look through basically every champion in the game to find out which are performing best with the updated version. We're going to explain why it actually works better, and then obviously the picks and stuff, but before we jump into those, this is the last weekend that you can get yourself some free RP by playing League and joining the Overwolf Challenge. All you've got to do is get a triple kill with the app open like you can see me doing on screen. This is a little cheeky triple with a Conqueror Misfortune that I had last weekend on the stream when I was doing this, and it pops up in the top right letting you know that you've got it. Now you just have to win the game. There are more details down below. It's US only, but thank you to Overwolf for sponsoring the video, and hopefully they do some more of these challenges pretty soon, open to everybody. If you're wondering why it suddenly works on so many different champions, the base stats are obviously much lower than before, but the awesome thing is that it scales with both AD and AP builds. It will provide a 24% bonus to your AD or AP plus 48% attack speed at the 6 stacks that you're going to get. That means that you don't just have to use it in attack speed on hit builds anymore, which opens it up massively. It also increases your ability damage as well as auto attacks. It actually has another AD and AP scaling as well. On the on hit damage, it will use 10% of your AD and AP to increase that as well, so every attack will be doing even more. Then of course we have the traditional RAGEBLADE passive that means every other attack will trigger on hit effects twice. That actually means as well that you can build full AD and boost the on hit damage you do with every auto attack. Remember as well, you can stack this on minions first to get your 6 stacks, get all the bonuses, and then you're going to go in. That's supposed to be how you use it. So if you don't have to build other on hit damage to make this work now, in fact having some AD or AP could even be better, you'll be attacking faster and hitting harder. That is the idea. The cool thing is with this that you can slot it into almost any AD damage build late game and it will be solid. The only part that you kind of need to have is that you can easily stack this up with your auto attacks. Anyway, let's jump into some champions that really use this well all of the time, some which I doubt you would have expected. The first few champions are ones that are really good with this. The RAGEBLADE is almost probably core on them, or it should be. So Kai'Sa uses the bonus AP, AD and attack speed and RAGEBLADE passive, like all 4 parts of this. The item is practically perfect for her. It is an awesome way to unlock the upgrades in her kit as well. You need one AD or AP or attack speed item plus the base from RAGEBLADE to just about go over the 100 needed. It does make her Q hurt even more with the extra AD that you're going to get. That's where a lot of her damage actually comes from, but it actually makes everything hurt more because her entire kit has dual scaling. Both AP and AD make them do more. It's also obviously how plasma passive damage, not only do you attack faster, but it works with the RAGEBLADE passive for a massive damage boost. RAGEBLADE is really designed for somebody to use mostly the AD, the AP, or the attack speed boost. Not really all 3 of them at the same time, and that is why Kai'Sa is so good with it. Even when Kai'Sa gets nerfed eventually, by the way, RAGEBLADE will be a sick item for her because of the synergy that it has with her kit. So Aatrox uses 3 out of 4 here really, builds AD, has some good AD ratios, so all of his abilities are going to do more. The attack speed also means that he can attack more, which is more use of his W and his passive, plus the RAGEBLADE passive will apply that more. The cool thing about this one is actually that the physical bonus on hit damage you get from your W has a whopping 75% bonus AD ratio. So that 24% bonus AD you get from RAGEBLADE actually makes that do even more, and you will apply that 3 times every 2 attacks because of the RAGEBLADE on hit passive. It just boosts all of your damage from like every single angle. You want to be attacking faster anyway, and it now gives you more AD with the Trinity Force build. Tryndamere might be the first one that you weren't exactly expecting. It is an absolute beast with RAGEBLADE. It is one of the highest win rate items and it's bought a lot. He'll be using 2 out of 4 parts here, so not really the on hit passive and not really the AP, but the bonus AD and the attack speed. Normally his build is Phantom Dancer into Essence Reaver, then RAGEBLADE after that, so you've got some AD and crit behind you already. This is another part that we want to look at where it's so good with crit builds. You have more attack speed, which means more auto attacks and hopefully more crits, but you also have more AD from the bonus you're going to get. You'll actually feel that bonus more because a crit deals twice its normal damage. So if that bonus percentage gave you 150 extra, that would turn into 300 on a crit. RAGEBLADE really turns Trynd into a monster now, and only 3 items into the game, so it is really good. Master Yi is using a different sort of synergy though, maximizing the on-hit style most of the time, using kind of 3, maybe 4 parts of the RAGEBLADE. The most common builds right now now up Blood Razor into Rageblade and then Blade the Ruined King afterwards, or maybe a defensive option instead, Rageblade is going to be giving even more attack speed, using the percentage damage from Blood Razor more and applying it 3 times every 2 hits because of the passive. Blood Razor does 4% maximum health damage every hit, by the way. It is a lot. So with Rageblade, that is 12% every 2 hits and you'll be hitting more often. Your kit also has a lot of synergy though. Every 4th hit will also be doing more damage. That'll be obviously proccing more because you'll be attacking faster and it has an AD ratio. Your E is going to be doing true damage with an AD ratio. The Rageblade will boost, and your ultimate makes you attack even faster. You can actually run a crit build with this and it will work for the exact same reasons as we talked about with Trin. Okay, so Jax will be using 3, maybe even 4 parts of the Rageblade. This item is really good for him in any build. Obviously, attack speed is really good with his passive and the famous thump, so we have that part. He'll also be building a lot of AD though from Trinity Force or Hydra or Sterix, or 3 of them, which Rageblade will actually boost. You're not really building much ability power, so it might not be a ton, but he will use it. Almost all of his abilities are increased by AP and AD at the same time. He just attacks so fast with this. All of his abilities do more. He'll be thumping way more often. It's not as much of an early game item, maybe like 3rd when you have other stuff already, but getting it makes you virtually unstoppable if you're allowed to auto. So we're going to move into our next section now. These aren't as good as the others. They are still awesome, but don't win quite as much with it. So Jin would have been god tier with it if we did this like a few patches ago, but they did fix how it worked with his passive and it's not quite as broken anymore. Still really strong though. Gives him a lot of AD with his build and his passive, but only if you can stack it up. Stacking that is not easy with his 4-shot mechanic, so there can be a big downside if you aren't able to get it. If you are able to though, get it going and make it work, it can be amazing. It is one of the highest win rate items for him after the update, but it looks like it's mostly as a 3rd or 4th item if you get to that point in your build. Varus is one of the few champions who can actually get this as a 1st item and it still works properly, but mostly because he can use the on-hit passive with his W so effectively. Varus is probably the first in this video as well who mainly buys it for the actual Rageblade passive rather than all the percentage bonus you get. It has though made the hybrid AP build even better. Right now I go Rageblade Nashes into Deathcap. The bonus AP you get from Rageblade means you get a ton of extra damage. Not only does the on-hit part of your W have an AP scaling, but so does the percentage part. Together it means you burst a lot harder than normal. Obviously full attack speed builds are more normal. They are still really good. The attack speed, the passive, Rageblade passive will be boosting that throughout the game. Kayle uses almost the same build as I've been running on Varus, but Nash is first, then Rageblade. Kayle loves attack speed, right? Her damage abilities are increased by AD and AP actually, so Rageblade boosts them both. This one is a little bit more obvious, but the percentage AP you get will be letting you heal for more, do more damage with abilities, and even add to the Rageblade on hit damage at the same time. It works in a very similar way to Aatrox, for example, that we talked about before, right? Except instead of building AD, we're building AP. I think she is the only AP champion that I could find so far who has really embraced the new updated Rageblade. We're going to talk about ADs a little bit, but Vayne a special mention. Rageblade is really good on Vayne, but because games are faster, we haven't really seen like her unlock the true potential of it. You can get this early game if you want to, but that's not where it's best really. It's better when you build crit and then you get it later. So it's a lot like Tryndamere, right? We talked about before. All the extra AD bonus will make you crit harder and crit more. With Vayne though, you'll also be applying Silver Bolt procs every 2 hits instead of every 3, which will be another massive damage boost. So basically by buying the item, you will burst harder, you will crit for more, attack faster, and get more Silver Bolt procs, all from that one item. So obviously we've had like Jhin, Varus, and we've had Vayne now, but any AD carry can use this as a last item. You could basically look at any AD carry and see Rageblade as one of the items that wins the most games. It isn't picked very often because it's like a 6th item though. At that point you're going to have more AD and it's the same as Vayne, just minus the Silver Bolts. Your crits are going to really hurt. The Rageblade is so good in a crit build, but obviously you need the crit items first. You need everything else before it's actually going to work. That's why we haven't seen it a ton. Okay, so let's go into an average tier. So it works on these champions, but it's probably not something you're going to see very often or you want to get every game. Irelia can pick this up as one of her last items in the game and really go to another level of power with it. She will have a lot of AD at that point. She'll stack her passive faster and deal more damage with it because it has a really good AD ratio. The synergy is definitely 100% there, but ideally you want other items first before you pick this up. I wonder actually how broken this item would be if we were in a meta like late game meta where every game went past 30 minutes, because honestly a lot more champions would use it. Xin Zhao is another one like that, where like more of a late game item that will boost boost the AD you already have from Warrior, Trinity Force, and Sterix. The attack speed means that you'll be smacking them around a lot more, which is really good obviously, plus all of your abilities will be doing a bit more, so you'll be bursting harder. The problem is that you need to be able to burst people earlier into the game. That's kind of why he picks in, that's what he's really good at right now, and RAGEBLADE doesn't fit there. This only really helps after you have that phase, after you have other items, and it makes you do that better. Kog'Maw might be one that you expected to see a lot earlier into this video, but he doesn't have amazing synergy apart from with his W. Obviously that is really good with the RAGEBLADE passive, but there's nothing extra really on top of that. Like, he doesn't build much AD or AP, so those bonus percents aren't really going to be bringing much. It is still a really solid item on Kog'Maw. It's not something you want to avoid because it doesn't work. Like, it is really good. I just think he would have preferred to have the old version. Shyvana might not buy this item very often, but it is really good on her. She can stack it quicker than most people and use the bonus AD from it a lot. It'll make her dueling power or objective taking go through the roof, but the only issue is that normally you want a little bit of damage early and then go into being a tank. This is more for somebody who wants to build hybrid off tank damage all game basically, because the more AD you have, the more the percentage is actually going to work. The last one in this part that I want to mention is Kindred, somebody I thought would have been a higher up here, but she doesn't do, or they don't do that well with it. Definitely a better win rate as a third item or higher than earlier into the game, that's for sure. They do kind of need other items before it works. The thing is, like, Kindred has a good mix of on hit and crit damage, and RAGEBLADE would help with that, but it seems like people really prefer to stick with more crit chance than a RAGEBLADE. I also have three kind of weirder ones that have a really good win rate with this, but are a little bit strange and probably more for fun. So Trundle is that first one. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a full attack speed Trundle, but he proper pops off with it. It's really good. Probably more if you get to full build and you're winning the game and you want to close it out with a bit more damage. Again, you're not building a lot of AD or damage anyway, but attacking that fast should give you enough benefit to get it. Nocturne is a bit of a weird one when you think about it because he wants to burst, right? But the win rate when he picks this up is really good. You're probably going to get this when you are winning a game, but actually if you plan it out properly, it can be really good. You're going to stack this up on minions, right? Have it at 6 stacks, get all the bonus AD, and then you press your ultimate and dive in. All that bonus AD will nuke people down so much harder. The AD ratios in your kit are insanely high, so you are going to be using this a lot, and also actually it's boosting your bonus AD, which when on your Q trail would be even higher than normal. Udyr is the last weird one you could try. He attacks super fast, can stack it up, and builds a lot of AD as well. I think if you wanted to go full ham instead of like some defense to end the game, or if you wanted to split push, this would be perfect. You'll be able to fight people a lot easier, you'll be able to burst harder, attack faster, more AD for your Tiger as well. It is not that bad at all. So there you go. Those are the champions that are working the best with RAGEBLADE so far. Let me know if you think there are any others, but for now, I'll leave you with the robots.